I don't know any other way to build a fan, like a true fan.
Than that in-person experience.
Than like an in-person experience. I don't know. It's like the oldest transfer of energy in history. Like people traveled from place to place to put on shows. And then I think also like just the development of artists is so much easier when they see what they work on and they have to translate that to entertaining an audience.
I'm beyond thrilled to welcome in our guest today. You know him from Saturday Night Live and Nickelodeon. It's Kenan Thompson on the pod.
It's a pleasure to be here.
It's like a much flyer version of Kenan Thompson.
Way cooler, actually, yeah.
Kenan Thompson's actually probably like a super underrated like comedic savant.
You think SNL's maybe holding him back a little bit?
Comedic savant?
Yeah,
those are such strong words for Kenan Thompson.
Think about working like in comedy like as a child.
Yeah.
I mean like.
Yeah, I guess he kind of got started so early that he deserves the title.
I'm pretty sure that like the stuff he's worked on, like we have no idea.
Yeah.
Like Nick Cannon's a comedic savant.
Yeah.
If you like know Nick Cannon's story, like he started like as a teenager.
Yeah.
Doing stand-up.
Kenan carried Kel, let's be real.
Hot takes here on the One More Time podcast.
Right. No, but in all seriousness,
we have one of the co-founders of one of the hottest record labels, management companies, publishing companies here in Atlanta. We got Zeke Nicholson from Since the 80s.
Hey everyone, pleasure to be here. It's been a long time of me supposed to coming over.
Yeah.
I
wasn't gonna say it, but like, thank you for saying it.
I don't talk much in public, so it's just, you know.
What made us so lucky? How did we get so lucky? Just relentless.
The smile.
Going at it. Just keep asking.
I fuck with you both. So also it's just like, I think sometimes I'm in a space where like there's so much shit going on. And those who know me, I'm really behind the scenes. Like I really don't care about any of the public front-facing stuff.
Yeah.
So I feel like now I'm in like a small breather. Transitional area, so it just made sense, I think, to do this now more than it did before.
I just don't even feel like you're actually in a space between things. Like there's so much going on.
Yeah, but
Bobby Boucher dropped today.
Yeah, Bobby Boucher dropped
by Earthgang featuring Benji, both since the 80s artists.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's retweeting it.
Yeah, Adam Sandler.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, just super
JID's
tight.
on like a world tour. How is he between things? Like this is ridiculous.
Well, I think one, JID being gone on tour.
I guess that helps. You don't
helps.
have to like.
Earthgang's about to leave to head on a couple of dates with him, and I guess it's not between things. It's just that all the pre-planning that me and Barry have been working on, and our team have been working on, colleague David Lamar, over the last couple months. Like we got Mike's album out, Mike Dime's album out.
Shout out Mike.
You know, this Earthgang project is done. We're about to roll them out, or we're starting the rollout for that, and you know, so a lot of those projects that we've been planning over the last quarter are now here.
It's kind of like these ships have sailed, and like hopefully they're on the right.
Yeah, so it's like
hopefully the wind's right. You know,
and the breathing area is just today. That's the window.
8 p.m. on a Monday. Like that was really the only time that he had available.
I think Barry landed from Vegas, so he's back from Vegas. So I'm like, okay, well I didn't do anything this past weekend.
Yeah.
I did some house stuff with my wife, but
nice.
Yeah.
Damn, yeah, man. I mean, I just like growing up a huge Adam Sandler fan.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
I was like, this is fucking legendary, bro.
I mean, how are you? 30?
32.
30. Okay, I'm 33.
Way to put me on blast. Go ahead, man.
No, I'm 33. 31.
Okay.
I'm the baby here.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
it's okay, bud.
Adam Sandler movies, like what? Waterboy, Little Nicky.
Yes.
Mr. Deeds, like
yes.
Oh my gosh, Big Daddy,
Happy Gilmore.
Big Daddy,
Happy Gilmore. Oh my, Billy Madison. Jesus.
Madison,
Yes.
like, yeah. So like,
was that curated? That retweet? Come on, bro.
No, it wasn't.
Don't even play with it.
What's so crazy? What's so crazy?
I believe him.
Our publicity company, FYI, reached out through his agency, and his agency was just like, there's no way we can get this to him. Like, just copyright this. Like, Disney owns the rights, yada, yada, yada. So, like, we thought it was dead in terms of going, like, the traditional way of actually just trying to get him to see it. And I think it's just one of those things where, you know, the intention behind everything we've done, at least to kind of market this first single off the EP, it just led to him singing it, you know? And that's all you want at the end of the day, right? Like, obviously, that's the perfect storm. Like,
yes.
We have this idea. What's also funny, that record was recorded at the Since 80s camp that you guys came by. So, like, it's like Benji laid the hook, gave the name, we knew the theme, we knew what we wanted to do. the treatment came together. Caleb Cialis directed the video, and it's just a perfect storm. We did the movie, the video premiere and the movie night showing The Waterboy at the Terror Theater last week.
Yes.
Your
last
rollout
Thursday.
game is impeccable.
So I appreciate that. I think it's
literally chef's kiss.
I appreciate it. So like Adam Sandler,
Fucking chef's kiss.
Holiday, Adam Sandler, retweeting it and actually, just giving the guys a shout today. It's like, okay, that's what you hope for,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's literally
100%.
best case
Yeah,
scenario.
it's best case scenario, yeah.
It's like when you journaled like
You can't
what
really
could
plan
go
that.
right.
Like unless you know, like you can't really like you can plan it in terms of like this is a target that we'd like to hit, and obviously we furiously tried to reach out to any and anyone from the cast before we even released it, and it was just that's just energy.
So from a copyright perspective, like is that it?
No, I just feel like it was a copyright perspective. No,
It's just
I just think like when you go through certain avenues,
they have to do that.
I think it's like a have to, and it's also just like there's no money involved. So like,
Yeah, they're like whatever, just put it
some
out.
rappers
Like,
dropped a video.
Some rapper
dropped a video. Cool. They paid homage to a movie that's 22 years old or something.
Yeah,
man,
what are you gonna do? Go to court?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just feel like, something that I would say is one of the biggest strengths of Since the 80s for sure as a company is like you guys are impeccable storytellers.
That's I think what we care about most, and it probably deals with our background of really always having to work with talent from zero, right? And when you're working with talent from zero, it's very, I think, important to kind of figure out what story you're trying to tell. And then also, like, why should people care about this story? So obviously you've been working with Earthgang and JID. I think it's about 8 years now. It's coming on a decade.
Does it feel that long, or does it feel like 100 years or like a year? Like how long does it actually feel like?
Does it feel that long? I mean, it feels like it feels like we're approaching where we should be, but I mean, it went fast.
Yeah.
It went fast. Like I think even in terms of just, I mean, life moments happen. We all started working together around 24, 25. We're all in our 30s now, so there's that transition of life that obviously like time has passed, but no, it's because there's so much stuff that I think the guys and us as a company still have to accomplish. I think we've always been like kind of purveyors of the underground and kind of just been champions of just no frill talent for so long that for us it's like we're tour warriors and all those things. So I think for us it's like, yeah, it's been a while, but we have so much shit we haven't done. So
yeah, no, I definitely want to talk about the touring here in a little bit because I feel like you guys are the definition of like get the acts on the road.
Yeah,
like that's been your MO for.
It is.
That's where the money is right now.
It's where the money is, but also like I'm gonna be frank. Like I don't know how like that. I don't know any other way to build a fan, like a true fan.
Yeah, than that in-person experience.
Than like an in-person experience,
I just made a post about this.
Yeah, like I don't, what I don't know. It's like the oldest transfer of energy in history. Like people traveled from place to place to put on shows, and they garnered fame. And then I think also like just the development of artists is so much easier when they see what they work on and they have to translate that to entertaining an audience. Like it's just different.
Yeah,
Lost art maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just feel like you can't argue with the fact that if you go to a show, when you walk away from that show, you can just feel you became a bigger fan oftentimes, right? Like if the show is good, you know what I mean?
If I walked into anywhere and I saw someone performing, they were dope, and like, I'm gonna leave with that moment. Like, oh, they were tight.
Yeah. Versus if you're scrolling and you see some good
There's
piece
too
of
much
content.
shit. There's just too much shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're like, oh, that was cool. Next, swipe.
You have to be dialed in because they're the only one performing. You can't swipe their performance.
I can't swipe their performance.
They're there.
I mean, we live in obviously a super digital world, so like for me to assume that because I mean, like even the Adam Sandler moment, I think like when we first saw the tweet, it might have been like 2 or 3 hours. I think that tweet, like if you look at the views of the tweet, like it garnered however 100,000 at the time, but it only translated to like 200 video clicks. Like
Yeah.
now on Twitter, it's viral, right? On like the clip of that they saw, it might be like over 1 million views, but actual like translating to like people going from that tweet to the video, and that's just the era we live in, you know. Like now, it's
You know how hard it is to get to make someone leave
to make someone
precious
leave,
Twitter,
yeah. Or
I'm
make
not
someone
leaving
just make
Twitter.
someone leave something that's interesting. Oh, like I saw the clip. Oh, that's interesting. Cool, Earthgang. Like
and that's it.
that's it. Yeah, and
They're done.
that's like the
That's still a win.
no, it's still a win 100%. But that's
But-
the world we live in. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, like you can't. You can't just depend on one thing to build a fan. Like being a fan is like there's a true investment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, do we even deal with this, right? Like we'll have short form clips
that go
on
crazy,
TikTok,
I'm sure.
Instagram, going crazy.
Yeah.
Stupid. And our long form, full length interviews, they do okay. And I'm not trying to like discount the fact that like, you know, they do what they do, but like it's still, you look at the fucking views on some of our short form clips that you'd think like, oh, they probably want to go watch the interview now.
Yeah.
Of course.
No, I got the piece I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my life
We gave
is
him the best
going
part
on.
already.
Yeah, I got the piece I wanted. It's like
Man.
it's like when you go see like certain trailers of a movie and it's like, oh shit, I saw every part.
Yeah.
And then you go to the movie and it's like, damn, I kind of like
I actually saw
I
every
saw
part.
every part that was worth seeing, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
That's why they put the best parts in the trailer. That's the whole thing.
You know what I mean?
Hey, speaking of leaving Twitter, are you on Threads?
I'm not on Threads yet.
He's not even like into social media that
well,
much. bro.
I'm into Twitter.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're a big
Well,
tweeter.
Yeah, I'm big on Twitter.
You're big on, marketing artists though. So
Yeah,
are you
yeah.
pushing
I'm
your
big on
artists?
Twitter. Yeah,
to
I mean,
maybe-
I think any artist like I think Earthgang's doing pretty well on Threads.
I've seen them pop up. They popped up on my feed for sure.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
Earthgang's doing really well on Threads.
Good job.
I think artists follow, try things out, see where the community is. If you can build a community on any platform, then like you should stick to it,
Yeah.
I think for me, I don't know. I don't care yet.
Yeah. We'll see how it plays
I
out.
don't care yet. I can't see myself leaving Twitter yet.
Yeah.
To go to Threads.
Damn, he's a diehard.
I'm a diehard.
He's a
man.
diehard Twitter.
It's also super scaled back. Like no DMs, no hashtags. It's not.
Which is-
I
think,
no
where it should
tasked
be.
you with doing this, so I don't even know what it looks like.
Yeah, which is
tell me
where,
about it.
which is kind of where it should be. I think now. I think, but for me, it's just like I get my Twitter's my news source, so it's like
for better or for worse.
for better or for worse, exactly. And then, like even now, it's like IG. I'll be on IG scrolling sometimes, but I'm not on IG too heavy. I don't post at all, really.
Do you think certain acts maybe make sense to be on different platforms?
100%.
Like, do you take time to think like you might do really well like on Snapchat or YouTube?
100%. But it really takes them to be active.
They gotta want to do it.
Yeah, you gotta want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think like
And they
like Mike
don't.
Diamond
They don't want to
really
do it.
I don't know if it's necessarily. I think you have artists that came up in this space where shit was just different. You know what I mean? I think like shit moves so fast, like that. There's always something more that they can do, right? It's hard to like.
True.
It's hard. I think if you really want to be an artist, like obviously you have to post content, you have to be social. I mean, it just is what it is. But I think having intention, I think with what you're posting and whatever you're trying to portray goes a long way more than anything else.
So how many conversations are you having around just content and posting and like social activity?
I mean, we're having a lot of conversations around it because how do we want to tell the story?
Yeah.
You know, like it's important. Like how are we telling the story? Period. Like, you know.
Yeah, regardless of
platform, how are we telling the story? If we're gonna have some short form content that we're doing to tell the story, then I mean it might as well just be across all the platforms.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, I mean it's inevitable. Like
Yeah. So
I think we're out of the space of like where artists are like mysterious and not showing their faces. Like
yeah.
It's funny, we just had
2012.
24 hours on though who managed to kind of get away with it.
Yeah, but that was still like a while ago. I
And
feel like
it was a little bit ago. Yeah.
But no, so one of your favorite projects of last year was the Forever Story.
Yes. Oh yeah.
So I want to talk
Album
a little
of the
bit.
year, bro.
Yeah.
I just
Album
want
of
to
the
use.
year, and I shit you not.
I
appreciate
just
that.
want
I said it all
to use
year.
this as kind of like a conversation starter, right? Around the storytelling aspect. So like with that project in particular, like what story were you guys trying to help JID tell?
I think ultimately JID is an artist who came in with such like a buzzworthy, you got to pay attention to him type of energy around him. And, I felt like with the Never story, like we told a good base of this is who he is, like where he's from, a little personality piece of what he's like. Obviously played football, like some little storytelling pieces. I think DiCaprio was more so, he kind of went into it, him and Christo went into that, wanting to make an album that really spoke to a live crowd, that really was going to wow in front of live audiences. So obviously for us, it wasn't a huge departure from storytelling. There's obviously some pieces on that, but it's really made for energy and vibe. And the Forever story is like, the idea, I think, not being the artist, but like in terms of just guiding it, is if you listen to the Never story and the Forever story, I'd want a listener to have a pretty decent composite of who JID is and how he feels with everything that's gone on in these last 3 to 5 years now, right? Like I would want you to leave from that knowing how he feels, how the changes have affected him, how they've affected his family, and what he's looking forward to, right? And I feel like we successfully, I hope, accomplished like him having a full identity of that, right? To where now he can go kind of wherever, but there's no like super question of like who is JID,
So it's almost like, let's get this out of the way.
It's not just like get this out of the way. It's like let's make sure that we close the book on who JID is.
Yeah. See, I kind of interpret it as almost his like, I don't want to, not in a corny way, but like kind of him like showing he can do more of a mainstream album.
It is.
It's like his Damn. Like Kendrick went and got Mike Will and did an album of like, look, I can make a bunch of songs that are going to be bangers on the radio.
I think for JID, it was like, it's necessary that people see and hear the elevation of where I am musically. And obviously, like, a lot of people don't necessarily know this, but the Forever stories, some of the songs are like 2 years old. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I didn't know.
You
that.
wouldn't know.
Yeah, you wouldn't know. Like the album we turned in, save like I think Dance Now is like a late edition. There's a couple other songs that are later. The James, not System, but the other James Blake record, Lauder 2 is a late edition. But a bulk of the album was probably ready a year before we dropped it, and I think, him personally, like he dropped it when he was ready to drop it. Honestly, like he had to be really comfortable with telling that story, putting his family in front of an audience, sharing that piece of him, And I think
because you guys even did like the Apple.
Yeah, we did an Apple thing. We went to Albany, Georgia. Went to his deceased grandmother's home where. That's like his family roots. Showed the land, and obviously shot Cody Blue 31 there, and that obviously that takes a lot of intention, but you also have to like be sure, like be 100% okay
that you want to give this.
You want to give this to the world.
Yeah.
And I think the Forever story was him, saying okay, like I'm gonna give as much of me to the world that people feel like they know me as an artist. And, I think obviously it hit exactly who we needed to hit.
Looking at it, like, how would you rank the success of it? For, like, what your expectations were and how it played out?
It's a sold out world tour. Like he's
shit.
Yeah, it's sold
okay
out.
then.
Yeah, he's sold out.
Sorry, Zeke. God damn.
He's sold out the States. He's selling out Europe. He's sold out Hong Kong, Beijing, Seoul, Tokyo already. He's sold out Australia already. So
man.
It resonated with. For his core, I think it was a success. I think it puts him in the perfect position to hopefully make that jump to mainstream.
Yeah, surround sound is certified. Right?
Surround sound is a hit, and I still feel like there's so much life to that song, but surround sound's a good one.
No, I love that.
I feel like it gave a JID fan everything they hopefully wanted from it.
Yeah. Except he should have said Pound Town on that one bar. He came out and said, like, why didn't I say Pound Town?
And I wish he would have kept Stick on the album.
Stick was going to be on there?
Yeah.
Was it on an album?
It's on the Dream.
The Dreamville. Gangsta Grills?
Yeah, it's on the Dreamville Gangsta Grills, but it was actually
D-Day, right?
Initially, D-Day. It was initially track 4. Yes. I think it was right in the initial early sequencing of it. I think it was like right before Just in Time or right after Just in Time. Anyway, if you listen to them back to back, you can kind of hear it, but and it was we were trying to make it the first single initially off of the Forever Story. Like that was gonna be the first single, and then we were going to go to surround sound.
Bro, that's coming out.
I'm glad that didn't work that way.
I'm just saying that would have been like.
I mean, I just
that's
think
coming out fucking guns blazing.
It was supposed to come out just like absolutely what the fuck is going on because it's not. Stick is still It's a complete departure from what you expect.
That's why I love it. Is because it's like people look at him like, oh well, I don't want the lyrical miracle,
fuck, bro.
It's like, oh, here's a hook with one word in it, and you're gonna go crazy.
Exactly.
Oh my god, the festival footage I've seen of this.
Oh, man,
I texted Christo of like, dude, Stick is like, it's freaking me out a little bit, like how well
crazy.
it's doing.
It's crazy. So I think initially that we wanted. And when I say we, I'm really talking about me and Barry. I wanted that type of...
For the record.
Yeah, wanted that type of... I mean, I think Eve too, like, we wanted that type of just, like, pandemonium, like, yo, what the fuck? Because, like, that offering was just so different. It was such a different energy that people were used or expected to hear from JID that I was like, man, this is a great first just punch. And then going into surround sound, which is kind of more into that lane.
He's floating.
And then Dance Now came probably like a month before the album.
I'm glad that made it on there.
Me too. We heard it immediately, and I was like, me and JID were in the studio, and I was like, we gotta add this.
We gotta get this on.
It's going crazy still, bro.
Yeah. And that's just like one of those like special like JID and Christo sonic moments.
They're one of my favorite duos right now,
they're
bro.
tied. I think they're probably like one of the most underrated like artist producer duos.
Yes,
bro. Christo needs to lay off the roids or whatever he's doing, bro. No, I'm talking about his working out, bro. He's like jacked as fuck, bro. But I texted him, yo, my wife's on Instagram, like chill, bro. Like stop posting like mirror selfies, like jacked as hell.
Like he's super healthy. I mean,
I know he's crushing.
That's wild.
Yo, so how important is it for the artist to have a very good grasp on like the vision versus just you as the label bringing them something?
No, I think it's artist centric first.
It's got to be, right?
Yeah. Like if you like, they gotta sell it. Like they gotta believe in what they're selling. Like yeah, I can obviously help them craft it, help them put the environment together, help them storytell, but it has to come from them. It has to come from them.
And it has to be reflected in every piece of content, every performance.
It has to be. They have to live it. I mean, it's their work. It's their art.
Yeah. No, I think it's something we talk about of just like
I can give it to them, but I don't think it's gonna get sold the same way.
Yeah,
like it's because it's
or just not for as long. They can't. It's not sustainable, right?
Never comes off well. Yeah, I don't think it comes off well typically. Like
you can only put up that facade for so long if you don't truly believe in what it is that you got going.
And I think like they're not. I just think like if an artist is given a vision, it's different like when you're given a vision and you buy into it and it's in line with what you're already trying to do and someone just like guiding you to it as opposed to like you have no idea someone's telling you to do this and you're just doing it. It's like it only goes so far.
Yeah. So, what is the ideation process like, right? For a rollout. So you take the Forever Story, like put us in the in the position
busting out a whiteboard.
Yeah, like to understand, like how does it work?
I mean, I think for us, we all have our ideas that we kind of, come together and kind of hash out, and it's really just like you're trying to just figure out I think for me, I'm trying to figure out the best way and the most clear-cut way to tell the story. So that's just from sketching ideas, all type of stuff. Like, and honestly, you pretty much run with, I think, what seems to be the most effective, and also like not necessarily the easiest to execute, but like what you can execute and will deliver as what you're trying to deliver, right? So even with, I think with the Forever story, just with the albums, period, for us is we're trying to storytell throughout the album to give people moments to make sure that they still digest it to some degree, right? So obviously, Cody Boo, we wanted to
fan favorite.
Yeah, there was a old picture that we used as a silhouette on the back of the Never story for the track list. And early on, it was like, man, we should recreate this picture. So our idea was like, oh shit, let's get Ravi B, who, hadn't shot really or directed any videos up until that point, but has done portraits from everyone from Jay-Z to Beyonce. Let's get her to not only shoot this video, this like poignant video outside of your grandma's house in Albany, Georgia, but also end it with you guys recreating that family portrait that you guys can have as a moment. Your family can have this, but it's also like that's like a piece, right? It's let's people remember JID's video when we signed to Dreamville of him driving his fucked up Pontiac with Cole in the passenger seat. So,
bro, we were at lunch. We were literally getting lunch, and he had to take a call, and it was basically like, yo, like, is the gold Pontiac, like, at the location yet? Yeah. Like, okay, let's tweet it out at, like, 5 p.m. Yeah. It was literally, like, just having lunch with me casually. I was stressing out, bro. I was anxious for him because this whole thing was happening, like, before my eyes of, like, this gold Pontiac.
Yeah, and it's like, let's get these let's figure out how many 2008 gold Pontiacs we can find. And
like, how hard was that? Like, how hard was just that?
It was tough because they stopped making Pontiacs, and then two is like,
well, that's hard.
Yeah. And two is like, the liability of buying a car and shit like that. There's like certain things that should not be tough. Like obviously, in our head, it's like, okay, let's have $50,000 and just go buy these cars, but get the cars. Make sure the sound system is right. Make sure someone is there with the car playing the album. But to me, I knew a fan seeing the car as a moment,
Yeah.
That's storytelling to me. That's like, it's like, okay, let's connect these dots to where, if you're on the journey in the Never story, let's make it feel complete when we're rolling this album out for the Forever story. And it had been X amount of years since he had dropped even DiCaprio too. So it's like, it needs to count.
So I'm just, walking through it, and I'm like, all right, clearly you just mentioned, like, let's get $15,000 to buy one of these Pontiacs, for example, right? 3. Okay, cool. So, in my mind, like, how are you weighing the, like, return on the investment, right? Like, is it like, okay, this is definitely worth $15,000?
I mean, it's hard to quantify.
Yeah, it's hard to quantify that level.
When it's marketing dollars, it's like, what is the intention, right? So it's like, the intention is to do a non-traditional listing event. If I were to rent out a venue, that shit could easily be $15K to rent out the venue. Bar the second, third. So if I'm comparing it to like what this listing party could be if I did one location, one big club, et cetera, et cetera.
See, you just blew my mind calling it a non-traditional listening event.
That's what it was.
Like, did you even that is what it is.
It's what it is.
But I just heard that and I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah,
that is what it was.
That's what it was. But so it's like,
so you removed that line item and transferred it to buying the Pontiac.
Buy a Pontiac. This is our listing event.
Damn,
fire.
That's dope.
And, there's other stuff we want to do. Like we try to do like MTV. Let's do Pimp My Ride. Let's buy these Pontiacs, have them for a listing moment, and then let's try to see if we can pimp these Pontiacs out and give them to students who are trying to go to college. Obviously that didn't happen, but like it's levels of storytelling that we try to do with one asset. How long can you have this physical asset and make it work? Like we have some cool shit with like Earthgang's RIP Human Art EP that they have coming out, like with like we did the art show, obviously, like some of those pieces we will, probably figure out a way to do some type of art gallery to where people can actually buy those pieces. And like, so it's like you want to storytell on multiple levels to where it's not just a one-time hit. At least we do. Like, it's not just one time you're seeing this Pontiac. Like, if I can stretch this Pontiac out 5 more times, like, that'd be tight. If I can bring this Pontiac on stage and it be a stage item, that's tight. Like, figuring out ways to where, we might have spent X amount of money on these Pontiacs, but how can we
make it stretch?
Use them.
Damn.
It's the same reason I have a lemonade stand in the studio right now.
Yeah, because we've gotten so much use out of it. It just sits there collecting dust. You know what I mean?
At the time we did. We used it for a lot.
I know, but damn, man, that's amazing.
Yeah,
like
that's what makes it fun.
Just trying to maximize every movie you make. How many ideas would you say you have to go through to, finally arrive at something, right? Like, do you have somewhere it's like the first thing that comes to mind just works? Or is it typically like you try these things and then like,
I think it depends on the project. Cause like we had a whole marketing plan before the album was done.
Yeah.
Like, because we knew the story he was telling, even though we didn't have the music, we knew exactly what we were trying to do. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of shit we did not do, but it's okay. Cause some of these ideas can be repurposed for future things,
Mm-hmm.
So I want to get back to
the next marketing plan for the next album, like for the Metro album. Like
that's what I was gonna actually before we move on from JID albums. Got to shoot a shot at least once.
Go ahead,
man. If we
man.
could get any type of hints, any type of anything on that project, I am beyond ecstatic for that project.
I don't have any hints, but it's definitely happening. Like it's not. It's happening. It's gonna drop in 3 years. It's like it's happening. It'll drop within a year from now.
And it's not going to be called JIDtro, right?
Yeah,
no, it's not.
Okay, thank God.
They both Metro and JID commented on our post clarifying it was not going to be called JIDtro.
Yeah.
No, literally, we did like a news post where we were like, Metro Boomin and JID are reportedly doing a collaboration album, and it's rumored to be called JIDtro.
Someone said that.
It's an album. It's an album title. I think JID's probably tweeted and hinted against, but I mean,
it's not
scavenger hunt for the
happening,
fans. Look for the title.
Yeah.
So I do want to go back to the touring aspect, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's easy to sit here now and be like, yeah, JID's going on a world tour to Asia and Europe and Australia, etc. Right? But you were putting these folks on the road before there was any sort of like, guarantees or 100%. That like the money was definitely going to work out the way it needed to, et cetera. So 100%. Like talk to us about kind of, cause we're always trying to put artists on game as far as like, at what point does touring make sense?
I think first you have to figure out what's the intention of you going on tour. And I'll just say like intention of like you doing a show, right? Cause in the beginning, like we came up doing a bunch of shows. And
like just local or
local?
Okay,
like, they were on Edgewood. They would perform anywhere and everywhere, right? And
shout out department store.
Oh yeah, shout out department store for sure. That's the era of, and then I kind of like came into Atlanta at that time.
Yes,
but man, I think like shit. It's a huge practice tool doing a show, right? So for us, we knew that we were so weird, so to speak, compared to like what the climate was in Atlanta, that it was very important for us to kind of get these guys, and important to them, to be in front of as many crowds as possible, to even figure out who the fuck is the audience that is going to gravitate towards them. Like, what do they look like? What do they listen to? Where do they like to go? Like, what scene that is? I think that's why the department store was such a crazy scene, because it was that, it was a curated space where people were going to find new shit. And from that, we kind of had this mantra of like, yo, we got to be road warriors, because we're not going to have a radio hit tomorrow, right? Like, we knew that early on. Like, this is a slow burn. And we really modeled ourselves, and still do, after indie rock bands, right? Indie rock bands that would just get in the fucking van, go play these shitty ass venues, and see what their chops were made of, right? And that was the mantra we had. Like, first tour for Earthgang was Absol in a fucking goddamn, I don't know, I can't remember, some type of crossover SUV. It was 6-7 of us. And a goddamn car driving across the country for 40 dates, like, for living out the car, sleeping 6 to a room. So, obviously tour gets more glamorous from that, but we came from driving from city to city.
So how much money did that make or lose?
That tour was probably around $18,000.
Made?
No, we did not make any money.
Okay. So spent.
Tour. Yeah.
Okay. So I just want people to know.
You don't have to make money for it to be worth it.
Money on tour until like we were bona fide openers that we would get paid to open, like, right? Like, I feel like we didn't make money on tour. And around, really say when I mean, like, I'm not even saying we made a lot of money, but we didn't come home in the red.
Okay.
I think we didn't come home in the red on the first JID Earthgang headline tour. We didn't come home in the red. But
for that one, how did that work? Right. So when you do your own headlining tour, did y'all book the venues, or were promoters booking you guys?
We had an agent.
Okay, you had a booking agent.
Yeah, we had a booking agent who.
How'd you find a booking agent? Even
we found an agent early, and it was just from relationship building, from building up our own tour history, and just, reaching out.
Okay,
and we've been with Rob Gibbs since we had a booking. We had Rob
and Gibbs we trust.
Yeah, we had
sure.
We had Rob.
That's
Gibbs.
his Instagram name.
That's his Instagram name.
That's great.
Yeah. we had.
Don't laugh at me like I'm not fucking.
I like it. I wasn't laughing at you.
Okay, bro.
God damn. Got my
His Instagram name might be in Jerry Maguire, but we had Rob.
Or no,
on a Dreamville.
That's it. It is.
I'm Jerry Maguire.
Who's in Gibbs we trust? That's another.
Yeah, it's the homie though.
That's another one.
Another one.
That's
yeah.
another.
But I'm Jerry Maguire. I think his Instagram name.
Sorry, Gibbs.
But
there's another one.
We had our agent before we signed to Interscope. But we knew we had to be touring acts, right? Like we knew our money was only going to come from touring.
But does everyone need to be touring acts now?
No.
Okay, no.
I think touring is. If you ask me, do I think everyone should be in a touring act? Should be a touring act? If they want to be a superstar, I would say yes. But that's just my perspective on what I think is just the best ecosystem for artists. I'm not like, to me, the biggest stars are touring acts. Like,
for sure.
Like, there's no way around it.
What percentage of let's just use Earthgang and JID? What percentage of their revenues as artists come from touring?
It's huge, right?
Huge.
Shit's on streaming.
They don't see. Well, Earthgang will start seeing some streaming money because they're independent now, but JID doesn't necessarily see streaming money because he's signed to a major label. I will say 70%.
Wow.
Yeah. That's how it is now, man.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, between and when I'm saying touring, like touring, merchandise,
but just all the shit that comes from
most of his money comes from touring, though. Yeah,
being on tour.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of how it used to be.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Six figure, goddamn festivals, but he's a touring act. Most of his money, his business is built off of touring. And then, he has a sizable business that's being built off of branding and merchandising. Earthgang has a sizable business that's getting built off merchandising. They have a foundation that is going to start bringing in income. They have, obviously now they're going to, publishing and things like that. So
what was the biggest lesson learned from some of those early tours to when you started budgeting?
Yeah, it's like logistics and budgeting and planning and how much you're pre-planning before tour affects the bottom line.
Such as what? Give us some examples of what that means.
As simple as the more you plan, the less money you spend on the road for incidentals, for just shit from hotels to gas to everything, bro. Everything. To mapping out when you're leaving certain cities, what cities your off days are in, all that stuff. It matters. And it super matters to how we're doing transportation within the city,
Yeah, are we Ubering, are we driving?
Because the bus can only, the driver can only drive for X amount of time, until you're paying double for overdrive and all those things matter. In Europe, the driver technically times out, so he can't move the bus, right?
Oh, literally, he's done. Illegally. It's illegal.
Yeah, I remember one time we were on the JID Earthgang tour in 2018 in Europe. We were in Germany, and where we were parked at, the show was at this, I think we're in Hamburg. The show was outside. We did the show, and we're parked at this public park. The promoter told us we could park the bus there, but we technically couldn't park the bus there. The police came. Oh. I'm outside, and I'm literally I tell the driver's timed out now. Cannot legally drive the bus. So I'm in Germany, and the police are like, yo, you need to call the driver. And I'm like, I will call. I'm calling. Me and the driver were talking. We're like, okay, I'm going to call, but he's like, I'm not going to pick up, but you can continue call, and it just is what it is. I'm not waking up. Mind you, they sleep on the bus. There's a cubby.
So he's just in the bus.
Yeah, he's on the bus. So the cop,
I don't know where he's at.
The cop's obviously, not answering. Obviously he's okay, this kid's clearly not German. It's clearly a black American kid I'm talking to.
I was gonna say there's black Germans.
Yeah,
There's
that's black American.
Yeah, okay, there you go. I was gonna say it's not just because you're black that you can't be German.
No, it's like no, he's clearly a black American kid. Like
it was your lack of sprechen Sie Deutsch.
Yeah, it was my lack of German speaking.
Yeah,
it was those fucking hamburgers.
And he was like, driver needs to move the bus, and I was like, he can't. He's like, well, we'll have to write a ticket. I'm like, it just is what it is. They didn't end up writing a ticket. And, you know, obviously they saw me call and they was like, it is what it is. It's
and
like,
you can't like pull the bus.
Can't do anything.
You gotta have a like license or something to do that, I guess.
Can't do anything. It was just parked there.
Yeah. Oh my
Timed
gosh.
out. And the thing is, it wasn't like it was anyone's fault.
Yeah.
At least on our end, like we were told to park here, we connected the power, all this stuff.
So who was handling the logistics like at that point in time? You.
Yeah, I was
You.
CMing at the time, yeah.
Wow.
And it was fun. I mean, like I learned so much of touring at that time.
So now is it Q?
Q for Earthgang, KC for JID.
I just want to shout out the Tim and Q show.
Yeah, shout
Tim
out to
LaRue is one of my favorite people in this shit.
Yeah, Tim, good
and
dude.
his co-host Q. Speaking of Nick Cannon earlier, they were on Nick Cannon's podcast.
Yeah,
I just texted Tim. I was like, "What the fuck are you doing with Nick Cannon, bro?" And he was like, "I know, it's unreal."
Yeah, shit's sick.
Yeah, damn. Okay, yeah. So now you hopefully, but are you still super involved in the pre-planning?
Yeah.
So then Q just helps execute or Casey.
Q is the executor, Casey's the executor, and obviously they lift the biggest amount.
Yeah.
And I think to be an efficient TM, like you have to know every ins and outs, all the details, and hold all the cards.
German law.
Yeah. Overtime wages for bus drivers in Germany,
Well, that's the thing. It's usually calculated ahead of time. So the drives, the mileage, the companies are working with you, then they kind of spell it out, right?
Yeah.
So there's not really too much guessing game. And touring Europe is, I would say it's a lot easier than like some of the stuff in the States that you have to deal with. Like obviously it's a bigger bus. Like in Europe, bus parking is relatively common.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it's Europe, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They favor public transportation
exactly.
and energy efficiencies. They
all
don't
that
have
shit. Yeah, it's all the super simple intangibles that you don't think about from us just being this big ass
American
that we're
gas guzzlers and shit.
It's just like, oh shit, like they kind of have this shit already figured out. Like,
Yeah.
you can connect the power right here. You don't have to go to this lot.
Yeah.
Not charging you $300 a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you were also down in Savannah, Georgia, hosting or being a, guest speaker at Pote Day.
Yeah.
So, one of our past guests, Pote Baby, puts on like a summit where basically there's, a concert and then there's a whole day of like music education, workshops, and then there's like a block party, I think, on the third day. Mm-hmm. So, for you, how important or like how responsible do you feel when it comes to like giving young executives and like aspiring music industry professionals, like how important do you feel it is to like give them game?
I think it's just like knowledge of this shit is just free. Like to me, it's like gatekeep what if you want a better community within the industry. Like if you truly care about just community, I think it's important to just be a part of it, like an active member of the community. You know what I mean? Like, I think.
Do you feel like it was like that when you got into it?
No, I feel like there's a level of this shit that's just kind of like, you got to know this person and that person. Which, I mean, that's when you're at the height of anything or working at a high level of anything, it's always like that. But I think when you're trying to like teach people and like educate, like it has to be very personable, like genuine, right? Like I can tell you as much information as I have, doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Like there's an application process that you have to apply what your experience is and what you've learned and kind of apply it to your own perspective. And that's why I think working in music and entertainment is just so cool, because like no one really knows. Like no one has the fucking answers, right?
We're all guessing now.
Like before it was like, okay, streaming is the best tool ever for musicians, and now it's like, oh fuck, like musicians aren't getting paid for, you know what I mean? Like so like shit is moving way too fast to even gatekeep it. Like you need a constant influx of people who think outside the box, people who are going to challenge whatever is the status quo. I think if you're trying to innovate, if you're trying to And then I think also for me, like I'm very big on wanting to show different pathways within working in music. Like, because I think coming up, I didn't necessarily know what a fucking manager was, right?
I still don't know. Nobody.
I don't know what y'all do.
I could see like, oh, this is label execs and label heads, but even like knowing what jobs are to label, how that works in respective to an artist, and an artist team, and like I think having as much information, seeing what that looks like, it's important, right?
Yeah. It's almost like instead of taking a teaching and this is how you should do it approach, you almost just need to take more of a journalistic approach. Like, this is how I did it. This is what happened.
Yeah, we're all students. And I learned a lot from people who are trying to, quote unquote, get in the industry, right?
No, but I was just going to ask you, as far as, you mentioned that it evolves so quickly. One day it's this thing is the best fucking thing.
Yeah, we came in like the end of the blog era, right?
Yeah.
So we came in like, I always feel like if we were like 3 or 4 years earlier, like we'd have been huge, right? But we came in then the blog era, transitioning into SoundCloud and the streaming, to where, at one point, the biggest thing when we were first starting was like, okay, you need to be posted on as many blogs as possible. You need the complex look here.
Yep.
Or you got the earmill look here, or,
You're not in Fader yet?
Yeah,
what are you doing?
All those things were really what was garnering energy, right?
Yeah.
Then it became, SoundCloud trending, let's hop on SoundCloud. And so it's like always transitioning, like, now it's like, short form content, TikTok, like content creators, content curators, etc. Like these are who's moving the needle. So it's always going to be another tool.
What do you think's next?
And how do you keep up?
You figure out what works for you, and honestly, it's the artists that got to keep up. Like I don't make the music, so yeah.
No, but for you to guide, you got to know what's going.
Guiding,
so how do you stay up on
I'm guiding what they're doing though, right? Like if I see these guys have an affinity, like Earthgang, affinity for community building, where they might not perform well algorithmically on social media, but we perform well with getting real people to do things. Like, so it's like, okay, I don't know why our likes are down on Instagram, but let's throw this art party and see what our turnout is. Oh, our turnout is 1,000 plus. We don't sell art. Or, we have 300 people in a movie theater. Like, so it's like, okay, our audience cares about living within this community. And yeah, they might not be the most social media driven beings, but as long as we figure out how to work within that community, we can have them mobilized for our purposes.
Do they have a Discord?
Yeah, they have a Discord. They have a Reddit.
Yes, I feel like both of those thrive.
Both those things, yeah, it's like so, that is where they thrive.
Okay, so
I'm more so focused on who's the audience, who are the community members of the audience, how can we mobilize them to feel a part of what we're doing. Yeah,
How do you find that out? If I'm an artist. What are the best ways to really truly understand that?
Easy, you have no fans.
I think it's done.
If I was a rapper, I had no fans.
I think first within base building, it's like it starts slow. Like I think people are so quick to like, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. I think you gotta figure out what story you're telling, and what is the best way for you to tell that story. What medium that is, right? So I trial and error. Like for artists, it's a lot of trial and error. I think you should try everything, especially in the digital age. Like why not?
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it really, because something we've even talked about recently is like, all right, who follows the podcast page, right?
Yeah.
And so literally we're like scrolling through our followers and clicking on their fucking profiles. Like, is that something that...
Yeah, that's something you do. I want to know what they look like.
Yeah.
How old they are, what they eat.
Yeah.
What they drink, what they watch.
Shit, it's kind of creepy when you think about it, huh?
I mean, shit. Why wouldn't an Earthgang fan like Adam Sandler movies?
Yeah.
We like Adam Sandler.
I both like Earthgang and Adam Sandler.
Me too. I was way too happy actually when Adam Sandler retweeted
Yeah,
them.
me too. So it's like, why would that not be some type of crossover?
Yeah.
Or for JID, it's like, the community of JID, it's like, these are diehard rap fans, like. So why wouldn't they appreciate this freestyle or appreciate these rap moments that we're trying to give, right?
Yeah.
You know, with Mike, it's like, oh, he's a college kid out of Texas who's really focused on making bangers to live to, right? So like, why would not put him in those positions to like really be outside, to really allow the music to live, to really put him as a beacon of like what young Texas sounds like, or you know what I mean? Like, so it's all trying to figure out what that story is within each artist and kind of how to build that up, because it is you do kind of figure it out. Like Faygo, it's like, oh, why would it not make sense to pair him with Cactus Shack and try to work off of that virality and this underground scene of Ken Carson and JID and all these people? Like, why not try to figure out what makes that talk?
So let me ask you something about Mike Dimes, right? He's like number 4 trending sound on TikTok right now, and like, just, man, I don't know, it's like definitely like a proud friend moment to see that for you guys, where it's like he's next to like T Swift, fucking bad, but I don't even know.
Crazy.
Like,
it's crazy.
It's just insane. Like,
Yeah,
what the fuck is Mike Dimes being able to do that? It's just so fucking cool.
I mean, but that also comes from like his day-to-day manager, who brought.
Shout out David.
Yeah, David, like
Dude.
Peters.
Yes.
Who has kind of built and understands the ecosystem of Mike Dimes to be able to kind of lead in certain directions and do certain things digitally. Like a lot of Mike's moments have come from virality within TikTok, right? So obviously, why it makes sense. Like if you follow Mike's kind of journey right now, it has been largely due to success he's had on that platform and to, you know, viral moments within that platform.
So for those that aren't familiar, what kind of content is he posting that is going viral?
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily just him. It's him being active on it, right?
Yeah.
I think it's a combination of a digital spin and figuring out ways to highlight parts of his songs, and then also him being active on the platform, you know, and us focusing on a college age demographic that is outside, you know.
Yeah.
That want to hear this type of music outside.
Yeah, man, I think it's just so underrated, man. Like, definitely somehow the title of this interview needs to be something about storytelling, because like that's what I definitely fell in love with when I like came across what it is you guys were doing. And that's why like I first reached out, and you know, in the first place when we first connected, because it's just like it means so much more than and it's not a tangible thing,
it's
really.
like
right?
Yeah, man, it's like I have stopped worrying about so much about the initial impact of like, okay, release, and more so focused about, okay, how many people are we gathering along, like in this, like how many people are like actually, because word of mouth is still the biggest thing. That's why TikTok's huge. It's all word of mouth. Like, so,
amen.
You know, it's like how many people, and if you like I looked at the Earthgang video today, right, and I'm looking at the comments, and the funny thing is it's a bunch of people who were like, yo, I've never been in a music video, but they invited fans out to the music video. So it's like, I never been in a music video, so it's so crazy to see my face at this second. And seeing how you guys put this whole video together, because it's the first time I ever got to see a music video production. So like, in my head, it's like, oh, for Earthgang, for this campaign, it's to be as social and community driven as possible. Yeah. Right, that is where their success lies of a group as a brand. Is everyone is Earthgang, you know what I mean? Like, and we've said this for years, but everyone is really an Earthgang. For JID, it's like, okay, he's on the precipice of being rap's next star, and in terms of how I think of what people are waiting to see if he can get there. So it's like, all right, there's a combination of putting him in more lifestyle spaces.
Like what? Like what?
I mean, as simple as like, you know, whether it's as simple as fashion weeks or as simple as social moments that are not necessarily related to just solely music.
Okay.
Like doing the One More Time podcast, for example. Maybe.
Do One More Time podcast.
Yeah, I mean
thank God Henry did it.
Throwing it out there.
Thank God Henry did it.
You know,
that's the only reason we got Zeke on, so like, you know.
He played in the MLB All-Star game last year. Or not the like celebrity All-Star game. It might have been 2 years ago. But like moments that
superstars do.
Yeah, moments that lend to him being a figure.
Yeah.
obviously music is the base, but he has to become a figure.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're mainstream, you become a figure. Even
how's he dealing with that type of stuff?
I think it's coming to like his own comfortability with like what that means for him. He's come because I think it's a portion of it is figuring out how I want to go about that.
Yeah, because it's a lot different than just like performing at a big festival.
It's completely different. It's
like throwing out a pitch at a fucking MLB
how big
whatever
a celebrity
game. Like,
do you want to be?
Yeah,
and then like what do you want to do for that celebrity is different,
yeah.
right? So,
What are you going to talk to Jimmy Fallon about?
Yeah, all those things.
Or the One More Time podcast, guys.
Well,
like,
I mean,
so. I think for him, he's gone through that transition, and I think having this album out is like a weight on shoulders. It's like, okay, now I can move to this next phase and be very strategic in where I'm going, who I'm seen with, like where I'm at, and that's kind of the next phase, I think, for him.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
So you guys started since the 80s in what, 2017?
And at the end of 2018 is when we officially started Sensation.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And so let's do like a on the podcast, like how it started versus how it's going. Like what are you most proud of, would you say?
I'm proud that we're still going. Like,
just going.
Yeah. Like a lot of people don't know. Like I met like
so are we. That's honestly.
Yeah, like I met Barry when I was 16. Like,
Okay, wow.
Like so we were working together, and then in 2018 it was me, Key, and Barry that came together to form since the 80s. Key's obviously started her own company, Third and Hayden, so not just me and Barry, but I'm proud that we're still going and that we still have that energy to like really want to be in this shit, right? How's it going? I mean, I think it's going. I think for us, it's figuring out how to scale up because it's me, Barry, our executive assistant team member Carly. It's 3 of us, and then we have junior managers with like David Peters and Lamar.
Shout out Lamar, one of my favorites, and David too.
Yeah, so it's like,
bro, the fact that you have like those types of supporting cast of like day-to-day managers, like,
so it's like it's still a super fucking small boutique. Like we still trapping out of wherever we're working out of, right? So I think for us scaling up, I know we're looking to do, kind of get our ducks in a row and get this studio house, this like creative studio house, to really be able to house some of our talent and be like another pillar of community building within Atlanta. It's going well. Like I think it's going.
So for the outside looking in, right? Like you're like, okay, JID's about to be potentially rap's next biggest superstar. Earthgang's got this.
We'd love that to happen.
Yeah, Earthgang's got this amazing community. Mike Dimes is crushing. Mm-hmm. The rest of your roster is doing great things. Like you'd think that just every day would be like you're so inspired, you're so ready to do it.
No.
Okay, I just wanted to get like a reality. I just wanted people to know that like even when you're operating at the fucking highest level, there's still probably days where you're like, "Fuck this shit, man."
I don't think we're operating at the highest level yet.
But
no, I know you're.
But you're playing in the big leagues, whether you know.
Yeah, it's because like, bro, this shit is tiring, and then like also it's easy to be very critical of just how shit is, right? Like,
what do you mean by that?
Bro, this is a million tricks being ran, like, you know what I mean? Like, in order to gain popularity. Like, it's not based on music and talent. It's not. The industry is not. Like, it's not based on music and talent.
So it's easy to get depressed if you think about that being true.
If you're coming into the music industry and thinking that is solely music and talent, you're going to be very depressed.
Long gone are the days of a record label signing a bum on the streets with a beautiful voice.
I mean, you guys saw the I Show Speed shit, like.
What happened with Speed?
Yeah, I mean, he just performed it at Roland, Portugal.
That's so sad.
He's just,
I mean, shout out to him as a live streamer and stuff.
But so it's like, when you think about all the
So is Kai Cenat's album coming soon or what?
I don't know.
Probably, right?
But I think when you're thinking about everything that you're up against working with musicians today, it's like, okay, I gotta compete with with streamers. I gotta compete with content creators. Like, it's not just about the music, right?
No.
So, yes, I have to be inspired. Thank you, Adam. For this morning, it's like, okay, cool. Like art,
I kept you going.
Yeah, art speaks if you allow it the opportunity and the space to allow it to speak. So, I work in music because I enjoy music. But it does get daunting when your music is just, I mean, because it's music business, so it's really relegated to just data. Like, you're following data, like you're following charts, you're following streams, you're following all this shit. So, you know, if you're looking at trending up, trending down, or algorithmic playlisting here, or ad spin here, all this shit is advertising, like, truly.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's easy to get just, I don't know if it's necessarily just overwhelmed, but just kind of just like, what the fuck is the point? You know, on some days, right?
Yeah.
But, you know, that's with anything, I think.
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, join the club.
Shit's tough.
You know how many times
It's a big puzzle.
Specifically, I've wanted to, like, stop doing this, like too many times.
I feel like one time you were like, I don't know if I can have this.
I just fucking.
But that's the thing, right? Like,
I don't want to ask another fucking question.
Like, yeah, so like, it's fun. It's a puzzle, and I do this shit, you know, because I enjoy being able to do this and taking care of my family, like, more than anything else.
I just need people to hear that, like, it really doesn't get that much easier when.
No, it doesn't get much easier.
It's probably actually harder when you're at the level that Zeke's operating at than like when you're first starting. Even though you think it's so hard when you're first starting out.
When you first start out, it's like you really appreciate the small wins.
Yeah, we just
and
talked
I think
about this,
when you have a base built, you have to like remind yourself to appreciate those moments, right? Like, so
absolutely. If
you don't remind yourself to appreciate moments, you're always constantly looking to the next thing, you know.
Yeah.
And I think
it's all about the journey.
It's all about the journey. Yeah, it's like, and that's what storytelling is. It's like, like, you know.
Absolutely. Well, Zeke, we've entered a final segment of the podcast.
Oh shit,
Henry.
Oh shit.
Where are we at?
Are we here?
We're here. I hope we're here.
Zeke, this is the rapid fire rampage.
Rapid fire rampage.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Oh, he's tapped into an episode.
Let's go, bro.
It's gonna be a 3-part rampage. We're gonna start with some short answer questions, nice and easy. Are you buckled up? Ready to go?
I'm buckled up.
He's chilling.
Oh yeah, he's clipped it in there.
Nah, he's the type that doesn't buckle his seatbelt on the plane when they're like, please buckle your seat, you know.
Tray table down.
Yeah.
Nah, I put that shit up.
He's still got his seat back, and you know.
I might have my headphones on, but I'll put that shit up.
Okay. I don't believe it.
We're gonna start with a layup here, just to kind of ease into it.
Yeah.
Zeke, what is the best podcast in the world?
It's one time podcast.
One more time. We'll take that.
We'll just edit in the one more time.
It's one more time podcast.
Okay, yeah, we'll edit that part.
Yeah.
Editors, get that.
Honorable
get
mention
that version.
NFR.
NFR, honorable mention.
God,
sure.
they're probably better than us, bro. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, they're not giving gyms to artists. We have a different lane. It's cool.
I know. I love them.
Anyway.
I love them.
See, a lot of artists are selling their catalogs right now. What is the number for JID's catalog right now?
So we can't sell it yet. We don't have enough. We need more catalog to make more money. Can't sell it.
$750 million right now.
So I wish. If it was $750 million, we would have sold it.
No, but like,
be a
what
number.
would you sell it at? Is the question. Not what is it worth.
What would I sell?
What would you sell? What would
You can go high.
What would I?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully Jid would agree, but like, let's just take your opinion.
What did 100 M's?
100?
Yeah.
What did I just do? 50?
Would you do 50?
Shit, no, I did 50. I don't know. Shit, he had number ones and everything.
It's true.
Fuck.
He had Country Grammar, bro.
That's what I'm saying.
He had Ride With Me.
Yeah, I would do 50. I would do 100.
He had Over and Over Again with
I'm
Tim
gonna say
McGraw.
100 because like what? I would say 100 just because 100 just sounds like
Safe,
a good number.
Okay.
Sure.
100 M's.
Zeke, what are 3 things an independent artist could do to get the attention of Zeke Nicholson?
Run into me in the street.
He is one of those guys.
Run into me in the street.
Like, say they want to get signed to Since the 80s.
Badger me for 3 years and improve.
Consistency. Okay.
Consistency.
So what we
I mean,
did to get him
I was
on.
going to say, I badgered him for like,
Yeah.
I mean, at least months, maybe a year. I don't know.
Put out dope shit. Yeah.
That'll work.
Yeah.
You can only wear one outfit for the rest of your life.
Yes.
What is it?
It's some Since the 80s shorts, a pair of ground sneakers, one of my mini kufis, my Since the 80s chain, and a white t-shirt.
I thought you were going to describe your outfit
I was
right
almost
now.
there.
You just switched white
Switched to
t-shirt
white,
with
yeah. Because I wouldn't wear black shorts. I'd probably wear like green shorts.
Okay.
How many different colors of the Since 80s shorts
We
do we
have
have?
3. We have blue, red, and
I need
black.
some, bro.
Yeah. I'll cop.
Yeah.
Zeke, you have $5,000 to roll out a single for an independent artist, brand new.
It's not enough money, but yeah.
No, it's not. But working with what you got and being as creative as you are, give us like a general breakdown of how you spend it.
Damn, that's a good question. I have $5,000.
That's it.
That's it.
Five
G's.
I am.
And some artists are listening to this like, I don't have fucking $5,000 to roll this out.
$5,000 to roll it out. Was it a single or album?
Single.
A single? Okay, I'm gonna spend $5,000 total.
Yes.
On paying. Damn, how many people I want to pay? I'm gonna pay.
I love this.
250 people to tweet the single every day for 30 days.
Ooh.
I just made that up.
No, but
I like that.
That might be cool.
Genius.
That might be cool, yeah.
Yeah.
So just micro influencers.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
Like do that, y'all. Like seriously.
I just made that up. I don't even know if that would work, but
No, but just
It obviously depends on the artist.
But the
still.
concept in general
I would just pay them to tweet it out every day.
Yeah.
If I said I will give you X amount of dollars, and probably high schoolers at that.
Yeah.
which is almost
They'll
better.
take it.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because they probably have more followers than like a 20-something-year-old. And
I said 250 people, right?
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you said, when I said 5,000, you immediately said not enough. Is there a number that you think?
No. It's just not enough to what I would want to do.
Yeah. What's your average? Like, how do you feel comfortable with a single? You need like 25, 50.
100,
No.
200.
I mean, it just depends on like. See, first when you said single, I really was thinking the whole project. Like, I mean, I think a good 50 ball would allow me to do what I would want to do creatively for just the project. But
Okay.
I mean, bruh, what's so crazy about the music industry is that you can spend millions of dollars and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So like your
So
budget
true.
doesn't necessarily dictate success by no
jam.
means, and that's why that shit is so funny.
Yeah, like me having not spent millions of dollars on a single, I can still tell you that like if it was that simple, then major labels would never lose.
Yeah,
100%.
other artists would
If
win.
it was purely a dollar amount that made a single successful, we would all spend it.
Yeah, it just like every venture capitalist would just invest in singles.
And that's why that shit's funny. That's why that shit's hilarious.
Exactly. Like everyone's like,
Because I remember in the beginning, I was like, man, if I had X amount of budget, like, shit, we would make this shit. And then you get the budget and you're like, oh, shit.
Oh, wait.
It's not how this shit works.
Right.
we just spent how much and didn't make anything.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This next one's a bit of a philosophical question.
Yeah.
Since tomatoes, as we know, are actually fruit,
Yes.
Ooh.
is ketchup a smoothie?
Is ketchup a smoothie? Do all smoothies have ice? I would say no, because I just feel like smoothies have ice in them.
I think they do.
Yeah, they do. I think you need ice for a
They got
smoothie.
some ice and maybe some like ice cream or yogurt in there
Creamer
or something.
So
You
ice.
definitely need ice, though.
So
definitely
ice and
need
cream
ice.
and cream and ketchup maybe.
Could be a smoothie.
Could be a smoothie.
Yeah.
Or
Last
it's really
one.
the tomato, the ketchup. I mean, it's really the tomato, the ice, and the cream. That
Because
makes
you would
smoothie.
blend it up.
Yeah.
Right.
And it would be fine.
Sounds awful.
It sounds disgusting.
Last one of the short answer. This is the co-sign corner presented by Guayaki Yerba Mate. Give us a couple artists you're excited about, not on Since the 80s, just some
Okay.
people that you're really hyped on. Co-sign corner.
South African artist named Blackie, another South African legend named Anati. Let me see. Artists I'm excited about. I gotta pull up my phone.
Yeah. Who you been listening to?
It's got the like.
Who's in the recently played?
Who are you trying to poach?
Who have I been listening to? Damn,
And like, what's going on in
good
South
question.
Africa?
Yeah. Do we need to?
Do we need to tap into South Africa?
Yeah, 100% you should.
Shit. Okay.
Damn, Ira Star. Who were you just listening to in the car?
Rema.
Yeah, Rema's amazing. But what? Who were you? Well, the girl.
Oh, who signed with Drake?
Oh, yeah, she's fire.
There's a girl signed to Drake.
Yeah, what's her name? I can't remember. Yeah, there's a girl signed to Drake.
Shout out the girl signed to Drake.
Okay, yeah, shout out to her.
OVO's
But honestly,
leading female.
I think
act.
Blackie's incredible. I think Anati's incredible. And I mean, anything.
What kind of music are they making?
Blackie's a rapper.
Okay.
Anati's a savant. Seriously, like sonically savant. I promise you. Like the melodies are crazy.
I'm gonna need you to make sure I spell that right when I type it
I
in
got
Spotify
you.
after this.
Yo, it's crazy. Every time someone asks me this, I go blank. But my most listened to artist, like literally probably the last 6 months, is Rema.
Really?
Okay. Shout out Rema.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Part 1.
Okay.
Part
1, doing well.
Doing well. Some good gems in there.
The tomato smoothie still has me kind of like wanting to barf. But
that's to kind of throw a wrench in the whole thing.
Yeah, it's
I'm sure
just to
someone
ruin
has one.
just to ruin the podcast.
Have you guys Googled tomato smoothie? Like, have you ever?
This is Henry's.
I'm going to ask the next probably like 5-10 guests that first, and then we'll deep dive into it. We got to gather.
Savory tomato smoothie is a real thing. Man.
Oh,
there you go.
God. Yeah, I mean, people eat like bugs and stuff. So I figured that.
I mean, people drink tomato juice, so 100% tomato smoothie.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, just add some ice and.
Is it a Bloody Mary then, though? Ooh.
Do you need vodka?
It's got vodka.
Yeah. Part 2 is the this or that. I'm going to give you 2 choices. Pick one. Starting with Pittsburgh or Atlanta.
I'd be remiss to not say Pittsburgh. It's too important to my background. I mean, me, Christo, Benji, Q,
Yeah.
Wiz, Mac, Will, E-Dan, like it's just too important.
Do I need to list all the Atlanta? Did you just list all the cool people from Pittsburgh?
We can do that too.
Yeah, I was like,
I mean, that's just no.
no, that's like your crew.
I mean,
I know
yeah, it's
you
crew.
like knew Mac and
I could go.
Wiz,
I could go Mel, man. Like if I went to go like super, like if you really did your deep dive and went like super early, Dr.
We
Dre,
didn't.
the Chronic, like you'll see Pittsburgh producers on there.
Okay.
Damn,
But no, it's too.
Surprising.
It's too
Shout out the
important.
Berg, bro.
It's too important to like
your come up.
my come up to
Yeah,
say
for
Atlanta
sure.
over Pittsburgh.
You wouldn't
That's
be
real.
Zeke if.
Now,
if
where
it
would I?
wasn't-
I mean, if it was living, like, no.
Yeah.
You're never going back, huh?
But it's part of the story. And
Yeah.
he's a storyteller.
I love it.
Rapping or singing?
Rapping,
Chorus or verse?
chorus,
Managing producers or managing artists?
artist.
TikTok or YouTube?
Damn, TikTok,
Spotify or Apple Music?
Spotify,
Label or manager?
label,
Singles or projects?
projects.
And finally, leave since the 80s and start a country label or leave the music industry.
All these music industry.
She's not doing the country thing.
Miss me with that Morgan
I'm
Wallen.
not leaving. If I'm done with since the 80s, I'm done with music.
Fair enough. He's not starting from the ground up.
He's
Again,
loyal.
Not happening. The last part is the word association. I'm going to say one word. Just give me one word right back off the top of your head. Here we go. Oh, yep, there it is. Starting, as always, with hip-hop.
Booties.
That's what I think of when I think of hip hop.
Perfect. Color.
Green.
Brand.
Brand. Since the 80s.
Breakfast.
Cigarettes.
Hookah.
Mint.
Contract.
Contract. Ooh. The first thing I think about contract, I think about a lot of money. Okay.
Yes.
Gotta work. Studio.
Etiquette.
Pickleball.
Fun.
Waffle.
House.
Cricket.
Sandwich.
Strip club.
Once.
Lil.
Scrappy.
Podcast.
One more time.
Yo, Lil Scrappy has me dead, bro.
That might be a first.
That's definitely a first.
I want to say someone else.
No,
said
it's a
Scrappy.
first for Scrappy.
Oh,
It
bro.
was definitely gonna be Scrappy, but I almost said Tyler, but you said Lil, so I just had to go Scrappy.
Yeah, I didn't go la.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts. And
Shout out
last
to
one.
Mateo.
Yeah, shout out to Mateo.
Since
The 80s.
Since the 80s, bro.
Rampage.
If y'all didn't get some fucking game from this shit,
that we can't help you.
literally don't listen to another one.
Hello.
Like, holy shit,
I
bro.
appreciate you guys.
Man,
Appreciate you, man.
super fucking gems, bro. We love it. Thank you for coming on. I know it took a while, but I'm really glad that you finally came through.
Thanks for still.
Yes, of course, man.
invitation
Of
open.
course.
Persistence.
As always, please like, comment, and subscribe. We do this shit every week with people like Zeke, so we appreciate you coming on. And Henry, until next week, what are we doing?
Getting out of here.
Getting the fuck out of here.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time. Pop that shit like one more time. They pop that one more time.